Man, Carlos Prates, let me tell you something about this dude. He had all the momentum, all this hype. Probably one of the most talked about welterweights earlier this year. He was out here knocking dudes out in the first round, second round, just starching guys left and right. He looked like an aura machine. Like everything he touched just freaking collapsed. And for a while, people were even talking like, yo, this is the guy. This is the dude coming out of the fighting nerds that might actually be the future champ. That was the narrative, right? Dude had the highlights, he had the highlight reels every single time he fought. Even Joe Rogan was boosting him up, and we saw all these other people saying, who does that to Neil Magny? Who does that? Which, I mean, yeah, it's kind of funny because a lot of people have done that before. But still, the hype was still there, you know what I'm saying? Then he ran into Ian Garry, and that was the kind of wall that slowed everything down. It's not like Prates got destroyed or embarrassed, but the magic of those early knockouts wasn't there anymore. Garry just had the right style to mess with him. The footwork, the circling, never letting Carlos set his feet and launch those bombs. Every time Prates thought he was going to line something up, Ian was already out the door, And on top of that, Garry was threatening the takedowns all night, shooting over and over. Even if he didn't always land them, the consistent level change wore on Prates. It made him second guess himself, and you could see the gas kind of, slowing down. And while all that was happening, Garry was just touching him over and over with throwing, jabs, kicks, feints, just racking up points. Normally, Prates has the size and the reach advantage where he could bully dudes, but Garry was just as tall, just as long, so he didn't have that edge either. And the biggest thing was patience. Carlos is at his best when he drags people into chaos, when it turns into a dog scrap, okay? But Ian never gave him that. He stayed calm, stayed disciplined, never gave Prates the brawl he wanted. By the time Carlos really turned it up in the 5th round, the fight was already gone. Now, to be fair though, Carlos Prates almost literally finished Ian Garry in that 5th round. Ian Garry barely survived by a thread, okay? And honestly, man, that fight was a good learning experience for Carlos. I know a lot of people look at it and say, oh, he got fraud checked, but nah. When you really think about it, that was the first time getting a real cage time with a high-level guy. Ian Garry might be a cuck, but let's be real, he's also a very well-rounded fighter. He knows how to move, he knows how to mix it up, and he tested Carlos in a way he hasn't been tested before. That's experience you can't buy, and Prates needed to go through that, in my opinion. I kind of had a feeling that he was going to lose that one just because of the matchup. It was always going to be tricky for him, in my opinion. And the funny part is, people forget originally Jeff Neal was supposed to be his original opponent. Neal got hurt, Garry slid in, and that changed everything. So Prates took that loss, learned from it, and then when Neal finally came back, Carlos cooked him. And now Carlos has a matchup with Leon Edwards, which is interesting for a lot of reasons. I mean, Leon's on a 2-fight losing streak right now, and people are already tossing him to the side. It kind of feels like that scene in Toy Story where Andy goes and he's like, I don't want to play with you anymore, and he drops Woody. That's exactly how folks are treating Leon, okay? Now, to be fair, let's keep it real. Nobody was ever screaming Leon Edwards' name like he was must-see TV. The dude's never been the most beloved, but that doesn't mean he's trash either. Don't let the bias get to you, especially from these dudes like MMA Guru or Bedtime, who will clown him every chance they get. Yeah, Leon can be boring. I'm not going to lie about that. I'm never really too excited for any of his fights. But he's still dangerous in my opinion. He's still got skill, and he absolutely has the potential to beat Carlos if things line up right. Now, if we're really talking about this fight, especially on the feet, I'm going to keep it real with you. If Leon Edwards comes out with that slow, low output style, sitting back, trying to play sniper from the outside, throwing a couple leg kicks, pawing the jab, hoping to chip away, that's not going to work against Carlos Prates. I'm telling you right now, that is a recipe for disaster because Carlos isn't the type to sit there and let you control the pace. He's not going to stand back and admire Leon's kickboxing. Ooh. He's going to come forward, he's going to press, and he's going to be the one that forces Leon into the spots that he doesn't like. That's the fight that Prates wants. He wants to make Leon move backwards, cover up, react instead of dictating. When Leon gets stuck in that kind of rhythm, when he's made to throw more than he wants to, that's where the opening shows up. He's slick when he's picking his shots at his own tempo. But the second you make him fight at yours, he looks more vulnerable, and if Leon tries to coast early, trying to bank rounds by just touching that range, Carlos is just going to jump all over with combinations, power shot, and consistent forward pressure. If Leon doesn't meet that pressure with sharp combinations and sharp counters and some wrestling to slow it down, things are going to snowball quickly. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I get a bit worried for Leon Edwards in a fight like this because his chin isn't the strongest. I mean, just look back at his track record. He's been rocked by Bilal Muhammad and Nate Diaz. And let's keep it real, those guys aren't exactly known for crazy knockout power. Bilal throws volume, but he's not a one-punch finisher. And Nate, come on, man. Nate hasn't knocked anyone out in like forever. If those dudes are able to stun Leon, what do you think is going to happen when a guy like Carlos Prates starts ripping shots at him? And the funny part is, we've seen Bilal land a gazillion punches on Sean Brady, and he couldn't even put him down. Yes, he had him badly hurt. He was out there wobbling, and somehow this guy wobbled Leon. That tells you everything you need to know about Leon's durability. So all jokes aside, I don't think Leon should be trying to have a clean striking match with Carlos. That's just asking for trouble. If Leon is smart, he's mixing in the grappling, trying to slow this fight down, maybe get top position, and control some rounds. Standing at range with Carlos and hoping to pick him apart, that's not the way, man. I'm telling you right now. And look, man, even if Leon tries to take Carlos Prates down, people are sleeping on Prates' takedown defense. And I don't think he gets enough credit for it. I mean, look at the numbers, dude. Against Ian Garry, he stuffed 15 out of 19 takedown attempts. That's crazy. That's Garry spamming shots all night. And Carlos is just shrugging most of them off. Then you look at the Magny fight, he shot 7, and all 7 takedowns got stuffed. And on top of that, Carlos actually slammed him. So we're not just talking about a guy who could avoid takedowns. We're talking about a guy who can reverse it and make you pay. That's why I say his takedown defense is underrated. Now, here's where it gets tricky though. Leon Edwards doesn't shoot like a normal wrestler. He doesn't shoot like single legs or double leg. He's not Kobe Covington diving at your legs from open space. He's not Hamza blasting doubles from across the cage. Leon's style is different. He takes you down off the clinch. He ties you up, pushes you on the fence, softens you up, well, a little bit with knees and elbows, and then he looks for trips and sneaky sweeps. That's his entire game when it comes to the grappling aspect of it. So when you mash them up, you've got Carlos with that proven base and underrated takedown defense, and then Leon with a style that doesn't rely on raw power, but on being crafty, a crafty vet. The question is, does Carlos' strength and balance hold up when Leon starts leaning on him on the clinch? Or does Leon's timing break through in those 30 spots? That's where the fight gets really interesting in my opinion. Now, if Leon can get Carlos down, I'm telling you right now, that's where things can get a bit tricky. I'm not saying that Carlos won't be able to get back up, but he's strong. He's got good takedown defense, but it's not going to be one of those easy pop back ups, Leon's a good grappler. And once he gets on top of you or gets your back, he can control you. I know people clown Leon sometimes like, oh, he's been out grappled before. He's not that guy. But you got to remember this. This is the same guy who took Bilal and took his back and controlled him for an entire round. He even reversed Bilal in the grappling exchanges in the 5th round and even landed some elbows. And let's not forget, he was the first ever person to take down Kamaru Usman in the UFC. That says a lot. Now, if you're asking me who's coming into this fight with more confidence, I gotta lean towards Carlos Prates. The guy's been on fire. I mean, he's been starching dudes. He's younger. He's got the momentum. Leon on the other side, he doesn't really fight like a man full of confidence anymore. His volume is low, he weighs too much, and when he gets pushed back, he doesn't look comfortable. And that's the exact kind of guy Prates eats up. Someone on the back foot trying to snipe with single shots while he's walking you down and letting his hands go. Now here's the thing that makes me pause a bit. This is a 3-round fight. That changes the math. Because if Leon gets one takedown early in one round, there's a real chance he could just sit on top of him and hold him for a majority of those 5 minutes. We've seen Leon do that before. Control from the clinch, drag guys down, and kill time. Over 3 rounds, that can be enough to steal the fight without doing a ton of damage. That's why it's kind of a double-edged thing, On one hand, I do think Carlos can get out of those clinch spots, break the grip, circle out, and start piecing Leon up. He's strong enough, athletic enough, and he has shown good defense before. But on the other hand, if Leon's actually times it right and gets him down, Prates might spend half the round trying to work back up. And in a fight that's only 3 rounds long, that's huge. So for me, I'm still leaning towards Prates to get the finish. I see him walking Leon down, making him uncomfortable, and putting him away in the first or second. But I can't lie, the 3-round format is what scares me. It gives Leon the option to maybe squeeze out a round with control if he lands a takedown and just sits there. That's just one thing that can flip it. But with all that being said, that is just my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like always, guys, I'll see you guys on my next one.